Today, we explore an exciting theme. Control your conscious and subconscious behaviors in one place. The Power of Your Voice with Mike Murphy.
Hey, welcome everybody to another episode of The Power of Your Voice. And I'm your host, Mike Murphy, and I'm super happy and excited that you're here. I love how the show is growing. You're going to hear some amazing stuff today from two brilliant, beautiful women from Bogota, Colombia. And you're going to learn a lot that can help you or perhaps others, mostly others, right? Let's hope you're doing well. But if you hear something that you think is heartfelt and intelligent that would help someone, so a lot of people are suffering right now, so someone get out of suffering, please share it with them. And of course, I hate saying all this, but give us a thumbs up, subscribe, like, all that, whatever that means. Okay, so these women got me at this. You remember the movie with Tom Cruise called Jerry Maguire, and there's a line in there that you had me at hello, right? Well, these girls had me at this. Why trying to control your emotions is a waste of time, and what to do to regulate them. And by the way, that's coming from two women. So I want to welcome from Bogota on the screen right now is Karen, or Karen, let's say here, and Adriana. They're both up in Bogota. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. We're so happy to be here.
So am I. So what do you mean by that statement? Let's get into that emotional thing.
Okay, great. So usually what happens is we carry these strong emotions with us and we're like, oh my God, I'm angry right now. I need to do something so that anger would go away. So I know I'm going to watch Netflix,
right,
or, I'm going to try to cover my emotion up or try to push it away.
Or blame it on your partner. Push it on your partner. Yeah, get it off of them. Get them off of them and on to me. That's the way I see it.
Exactly. So what we have to do whatever we need to so that we don't feel it anymore. And what we're doing there is, that's wrong. We shouldn't do that because I'm sure it hasn't worked for you, right, as it hasn't worked for any of us. Why doesn't it work? Because when you want to reject it, it's going to grow. What we need to do is welcome that emotion. It doesn't matter if it's a positive, quoting, positive or negative emotion. We need to let it be. Let it be in the body. We need to feel it. We need to understand the emotion in the body. We don't even need to ask, why am I feeling this? Because we don't need to understand that. We just need to note, to realize I'm feeling this. Okay. So right now I'm angry. Yeah.
Tell me what you think of this, because this is what I believe. I believe we all get hurt, right? And some of us get terrible childhood, so we have a lot of hurt. So we start closing that heart. Then there's adolescence. Then there's puppy love. Then there's problems in relationships. And we get hurt, so we start closing this heart. And so we got to go somewhere, so we end up in the insane asylum of the mind, which if you don't measure these thoughts and keep the ones that serve you and get rid of the ones that don't, you're out of control mentally. Now you release all these negative chemicals, and now they flood the body, and it's just a continuous loop of misery and suffering. What do you think about that?
I think you are not your thoughts.
Yes.
You are not your emotions. So it doesn't matter what thought or what emotion is going on right now. I don't care if I'm angry or if I'm happy or if I'm disappointed or if I'm excited. It makes no difference at all because I am not that. If I had a traumatic childhood, it's not me.
Right. It's a story.
It just happened. Life happens through me, but life does not happen to me. So we need to stop to identify with our emotions, sensations, and thoughts, because every emotion, sensation, and thought has the same characteristic. All of them come visit you for a while and then they leave. Everything is temporary.
What you're saying is so brilliant that I have to back up and ask you a question. And then we're going to have Karen come in and add to what we're talking about.
Sure.
How did you, at such a young age, gather all this? Because I think consciousness is raising, and I think younger people coming into the world are waking, are already awake, and they're easier to wake people up. But how did all this happen for you?
Well, we'll tell you our story. But before, and Karen could tell the story for both of us. But just before, I wanted to thank you for the young age thing, because I was feeling so mature already, because all of our last meetings have been with these millennials and young folks, and I'm like, so I always end up saying, Karen, oh my God, we are so old, and we just laugh. So thank you so much for saying that. And so Karen, help me out here.
Of course. Okay, we both work in corporate environment for 16 years. And now, like, we didn't meet at that time. We were like working in these within these big roles and doing very exciting things, traveling, meeting people, having projects. We were having a lot of success, but something was not right. Basically, I'm going to talk about myself. I was not feeling right. Inside me was like this roller coaster of emotions. At one time, I was feeling really down, and then the next minute, I was jumping off happiness. It was really, really bad, because I could literally come at night when everything was like calm. I will get into myself and I will just cry. Like, I really didn't know what to do. Yeah. I couldn't even sleep. I was just crying, and I something was really, really wrong. And that's when just to answer your question, that was the time, or that was the time that I really realized that emotions were important, and I was not able to handle them. Like, I was really didn't even in control of them, and everything people, and like everyone said, like, you can control them, you can act on your emotions, and that's not true. That's why the topic of the podcast, that was what was that. And that was around 10 years ago, more or less. And then I just decided to make a stop, to make a pause, because my mind was really, really agitated. Yeah. Like, I really couldn't even sit down and read a book, because the first page wasn't saying anything to me. Like, I really couldn't sit down. I couldn't rest.
Your story reminds me of the story of Eckhart Tolle in the book The Power of Now. Are you familiar with that? Because I want to tell the story, because it's going to tie into what you were saying, Adriana, that we're not our thoughts, we're not our body, we're not our emotions, and that's why I want to tell the story. So here he was very, very depressed German guy, almost suicidal, and he's laying in bed, and he says this statement. He says, I don't know if I can live with myself any longer. And he goes, whoa, who am I? Okay, and that just broke him free instantaneously, and he sat on park benches for 2 years and did nothing, allegedly, and then went and wrote that great book, Power of Now. So back to what you're talking about, how does that all tie in with you guys and what you guys teach and share?
I think he awakened in that moment. We are searchers. We still are. Yeah. So we went to Vipassana retreat. Have you heard about it? Have you been there?
I have not been there, but it rings a bell. Explain it quickly.
Okay. So a Vipassana retreat is a retreat of 10 days where you learn how to meditate with the sort of meditation that the Buddha awakened with.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Where is it online, or do you go to a place, or how does it work?
You go to a place, and this Vipassana technique is the same technique all over the world. So even wherever you are going to be in the same, in a similar place for 10 days in silence. It's only 100 people, and you have to follow certain rules. Okay. And that's it. So you have to be there, and then you practice and you meditate like 8 hours a day. So there's where Karen and I met.
Oh, okay. So, it's just in pure silence, no guided meditation, no music?
Guided meditation, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes. So they would ring a bell, and then they would say, okay, now this is what you're going to do. and they leave you there for 1 hour, and then they speak again and they say, okay, now you're going to do this, and then they leave you another hour, and then at night you have some discourses. So you will listen to things that will.
Yeah, this is where Karen learned to get rid of her monkey mind, I assume. Is that correct?
It was in the process.
Okay.
I learned because I had to make this pause, and I made 1 year like vacation. I would say vacation, but actually I did it to find inner peace.
Yes.
And in that year, I met Vipassana. I didn't do Vipassana at that time, but I was always with that in mind, that I would like to do Vipassana. And then after 1 year, more or less, I met Adriana in that retreat.
Got it. How hard was it for each of you to do that? To me, it sounds pretty difficult. Either one of you, or both. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, for me it was very, very tough. Not being in silence, because I can be in silence. I mean, after the year that I was going within inner journey, I was able to be in silence. But being still was the most difficult part, because I had really a lot of pain in my back, in my arms. And that was like the most, And then you will have to do this, like one simple technique, a lot of time, like many, like you just keep practicing, and you just get like how many thoughts can come in that hour, And it's very simple. You just have to, focus on the zone of your nose, below your nose. Just focus on that part. That was like really difficult to do. Like in 1 minute after that, I was doing, I was in another place, thinking a lot of things, resolving things, planning things. Yeah, it was very difficult for me.
How about for you, Adriana? How was it?
Oh, as well. Yeah. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. I think there are two very hard things I've done in my life. One is Vipassana. The other is to become an entrepreneur. It's too hard. It's very, very hard. But anyhow, I really recommend it to everyone. If you have 10 days of your life, just write the word Vipassana on Google and search for it, and search for dates that you can go to that retreat, and just do it. It's really hard, but you know what? Your life is going to change.
Yeah. So
sure.
What was the juicy part? Now tell us the juicy part of the benefits that you got.
Well, the juicy part is you are confronted with your thoughts, because there's nowhere for you to go. Right. So you have to see your thoughts, and you live. I mean, it's evident for you how your thoughts are really just passing by. Yeah. So it's an amazing exercise for you to just identify with thoughts, emotions, and sensations, because all of them will just come. The sensations that Karen was talking about, they are so hard and so difficult. And you're like, you know what? It's not me anyway. And this pain is going to go away. And then you feel in such calm and blessing and everything. You're going to be like, oh my God, this is going to go away as well. And I don't care, because I'm just experiencing. I'm the one who experiences.
Wow.
So it doesn't matter. So equanimity is something that you just live in that retreat. And it changes your life.
And Karen, what was the juicy part for you, the benefits that you got?
Being in peace with myself. Yeah. Like getting to that part where I was really, really in peace with being myself, whatever was happening. Yeah. Like in pain, or sometimes you will feel really comfortable, and sometimes the meditation was really nice. So in those parts, it's really nice to be with yourself. But in the hard parts, it's like, okay, this is not that nice. So for me, like really being with myself and feeling fine was the juicy part.
Yeah. So I'm a baby boomer, right? So I feel guilty now, because I do Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditation, which are guided and relaxing and powerful. But that alone is transforming my life. So for anybody out there listening, that's a serious commitment. Let's be honest, okay? And so, but if you haven't started yet, start with YouTube free Dr. Joe Dispenza or many others. There's many, but we're all. the pollution right here, you know, in the field of infinite possibilities, the ether, the plasma, the chi, the prana, it's so muddled with all this electronic stuff that these brain waves, I was thinking last night because I couldn't sleep because I'm really in manifestation mode right now, but these brain waves, we're 99.999% space. The brain waves are going right through us. So I focused on picking up delta waves that I know are right here, going through here and getting my brain in the delta wave so I can finally go to sleep. So, because it's so interesting, the power that we really have. And will you girls speak to, I believe that the greatest pharmacy in the world is located right here. Do you know how to activate that and use medicine internally that we can make ourselves? Can you explain that a little?
Well, wellness, or the way that we go to people and help people. I have personally helped bipolar diagnosed people, and it is with a method of taking care of yourself in 5 different areas. So the first one is emotion regulation. Bipolar people, or all of us really, we blame ourselves very much for feeling what we're feeling. Right. Oh my God, I shouldn't be angry. I shouldn't be complaining. I shouldn't. So you feel bad, and then you berate yourself for feeling bad. So the idea is, first of all, don't you worry. And in emotion regulation, we work a lot with self-compassion. I mean, self-compassion is a superpower of human beings. So we really, really help people to open themselves up to self-compassion. Yeah. And we have seen incredible changes in people who were used to treat themselves very tough and very roughly, to really saying, I don't care, it's okay for me to make mistakes. So first off, emotion regulation. Another area that we work is sleeping.
Yeah.
So we help and we teach people how to sleep. Why? Because the way you are when you're awake is going to impact how you sleep. So we do some exercises and we bring some awareness towards how you can sleep better. The third area is how you eat, how you what fuel you're giving to your body, right? And so we have some mindful eating courses, and we do help people to understand that what is important is how you feel after eating, not what you ate, and if what you ate made you a good or a bad person. So if I ate lettuce, I'm a good person. If I ate a chocolate, I'm a bad person. No. Let's just take away that. It's just after you ate the lettuce, how did you feel? After you ate the chocolate, how did you feel? And just notice that. And then you wisely, with your inner wisdom, you're going to choose whatever makes you feel better. That's it. And that's what works for you. So we also, the fourth area is movement. So we're both yoga teachers. So, but it doesn't mean that you have to do yoga. What means is that you need to move your body constantly. As you know, this fashion of working for 8 hours continuously is kind of new. So the human body is not used to this. The human body is used to walking long distances so that you can get some food, to carrying heavy stuff from here to there. So what we need to do is make excuses for us to move our body more. For example, I use the car to go to the store. Don't use the car, walk and bring things and just, carry them. Or if you're going to your apartment, take the stairs instead of the elevator. Just make excuses so that you can move your body more. And the fifth one, which is one of our favorite as well, is relationships. So we work on relationships of people. When you work and you take care of yourself in these 5 areas, you're of course helping your health.
Yeah. Okay, I asked you earlier, but I want to go a little deeper because your teaching is such common sense and easy for anybody to get, and your delivery is so sweet. So what happened to you? You were in business, but have you always been like a spiritual conscious person, or when did that develop, or what's your kind of story, and where does your education come from of all those things that you're talking about right now?
Okay, I'll start. I was a very religious person. I'm a Catholic. I study in a Catholic school. So actually, I mean, I was not like really, it was not strange for me to know that there is something bigger or greater of ourselves that take care of us. Mm-hmm. So that was like my Catholic teachings were out. Yep. Yeah. But it was very religious at the end. So I will feel like something was not right or something was missing actually. So I said like, no, God doesn't like me. God just leave me alone. Like he left me. And someone said like, he hasn't gone anywhere. He's right there. You just have to talk to him. You just have to connect with him. He is there. You're the one that is not connecting the right way or the way that is helpful for you. Yeah. And I went, of course it's there. I mean, it was like, it's very simple, but it was like, oh my God, yeah, that's true. Yes. So then I started doing this connection more personally with God. That took me to yoga. And in yoga, I started really turning into spirituality. Mm-hmm. So I was like more a spiritual person than a religious person. So I started developing some practices within yoga, breathing techniques, meditation, even the movement that will connect to myself and to this higher being that was taking care of me and actually was part of me, or I was part of him, yes, more or less. So that's how that was my it was very yoga based training.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Adriana, how about you? How did you get on this path?
So both of us are industrial engineers. Okay. So we used to be very,
left brain.
Rigid. Yeah, very left brain. And Karen has an MBA as well. So, I mean, remember that she told you the story that we were just executives in corporate. So, I mean, it's a nice life and a nice way of being. But as she said, there was something missing. So for me, it was more philosophical. It was more like, what am I doing here? I mean, did I really come to Earth to make money and just brag about my position in a company? Really?
Right.
And my brother, so it was interesting the way that he took care of himself, and I think that he was also an inspiration. So just like Karen, it was something that is organic, and mindfulness came into my life. I wanted to change my life, and mindfulness did that for me.
Do you guys feel now that you
I became mindful.
I'm sorry, but do you guys feel now that like this was your already sacred journey that you signed up for, to find your soul, to go through whatever you went through, and now the freak, I call it Christ consciousness. It's all frequency, right? So this frequency is actually propelling you. So you're doing your life's work, and so you're fulfilled and happy. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I do.
Do you feel there's a source or an energy that's guiding you as well?
Completely.
I would love to say that you're happy.
I think she moved a little, so we can edit this out. But if you could chat her and say, listen, move back where you were.
Yeah.
There we are. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. So we didn't hear the last 90 seconds or so. So go ahead and say what you were saying.
I'm so sorry.
No worries.
I was saying that yes, of course, my life has changed, and I would love to say that I'm always happy and always living my purpose and following life, but I would be lying, because of course I know what I have to do, but it's so hard to do it.
Right.
I know that I should regulate my emotions. I know that I should observe what's going on in my mind, and that I should disidentify, and I should respond instead of react. But sometimes I just don't.
Right. Right.
Sometimes emotions will take control of
Yeah.
myself over and over again. So I'm like, you know what? I don't care. It's okay. It's okay, because it's part of the path, and to become more conscious does not mean to be perfect.
Yeah.
So I do not expect myself to be perfect or to live perfectly. I just expect to accept whatever comes.
Yeah. Well, and
it's difficult,
and in
but
your
I'm
in your defense, you are
trying.
you are a Latina as
I'm
well.
getting there.
So we, in your defense, you are a Latina as well. So
Exactly. I know.
Because the truth.
And when you said,
go ahead.
And when you said that whenever something wrong happened, I would blame my partner,
Yeah.
I was like, of course, because it's his fault anyway.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what happens. It's gonna be his fault.
I've been married to 2 Latinas, so you don't have to tell me. Okay, so
congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Heck, what was I just going to ask you? It was so good a question. Let's see here. Let's talk about what you girls eat. You're glowing, gleaming. You look extremely healthy. So what is your diet like?
Okay, I'm vegetarian.
Okay.
Vegetarian, actually, because I eat fish, basically. So, and I love breakfast. So for me, the most important meal of the day is breakfast, and I really enjoy. So I wake up thinking about what I'm going to eat today, about breakfast. And I eat a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, also because I have to be mindful about protein.
Yeah.
So how can I get the whole protein that I need? And I just mix. I mean, every day is something different. What I try to do is to put a lot of colors in my plate.
Yeah.
So I just mix vegetables, grains, legumes. I also eat chocolates. The sweets, I don't eat them that much. I mean, the processed foods, I don't eat them that much. But sometimes I do.
Right.
Sometimes a cake is really nice. But yeah, basically, I eat 3 times per day.
Yep.
My main meal is breakfast.
You just reminded me of what I wanted to talk about when Adriana was talking, because she's talking about, hey, I'm not perfect. Well, that's because we live in this world, this frequency of duality. So you can't have good without bad. So it's really, there's light and dark in all of us, right? So that's the struggle. So I've come to the point now, hey, I'm in the light as much as I can. I'm following my heart with integrity and purpose and love and all that. But I have the shadow side, and so I'm aware of it, I'm conscious of it. And if I'm conscious and choose to go there, I choose and go there, right? But the main thing is to stay in control, I think. What do you think about that?
Would you like to answer?
Adriana.
Yeah, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, no, I totally align with what you said. Actually, you wanted to say something. Okay, I will. Okay. Actually, really align with what you said, because, and actually, I would like to say a little bit about if we were feeling that we were guided somehow. And I will say yes, because it's not really, I mean, sometimes being an entrepreneur is really tough.
Right.
And it's not easy. Right. And you find that your business outcomes, sometimes you're not getting them the way that you really wanted to.
Yeah.
And you have your financial things that you have to pay every day.
Right.
And
you have stress and pressure.
Yeah. Exactly. So even if handling those stress, that anxiety, I'm very anxious person. So even handling that, I'm really thoughtful, like I met my purpose, and being in there is really fulfilling. Perfect. So like you said, you can step in the light the most of the time, but the darkness will be there anyway, because that's the world. Yeah. That's the world we live in. So I totally align with what you said and totally agree with that statement.
How about you, Adriana?
I would like to step in, because So when I was making my mindfulness course, the reason why I started all of this path is because I was usually angry. As you can see, I'm very outgoing and I'm very, energetic. I love to talk, and so I'm out there the whole time. So I'm angry. I'm an angry person. So you do the thing that you shouldn't, I'm angry. You say the thing that you shouldn't, I'm angry. It's raining and I want to get tanned, I'm angry. I want to have cornflakes, but instead they give me eggs, I'm angry. So I'm angry. I'm usually angry. So to stop that, remember I told you that we don't welcome our emotions? Well,
Right.
I want to stop it. So I started meditating and I went to retreats and I did all sorts of stuff. And then I started with mindfulness. I started with mindfulness about 5 years ago. I met with Ka, maybe like 4 years ago. And Con-Ciencia has been on since then. And so I started with mindfulness, and my mindfulness teacher said, "Oh, anger is your talent." I wanted to
kill him.
kill her. I was like, "Are you kidding me? I've been trying to get rid of anger for 18 years, and now you tell me it's my talent?" So it was amazing. It was incredible because since then I'm like, yeah, I'm angry. So what?
Right.
It's just
Right.
an emotion. And maybe what? Anger is trying to show me something.
Yeah.
It's trying to show me maybe some injustice,
Yeah.
or that something could be better, or that I could change a thing, or that or I could have a better conversation with someone, or that I should accept,
Right.
or be more grateful.
Yeah.
Because there's no cornflakes today, but there's eggs.
Right.
You could be grateful
Right.
because they're eggs.
Right.
So, or that I could be more compassive, or anger is going to show me so many things
Yeah.
that I'm like, oh, so this is what you wanted to show me. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So now I'm using anger as a talent
Yeah.
for me to get to know myself much better,
Yeah.
without blaming myself or feeling bad about it. So so that's a combination of light and darkness that I find in myself.
And so I'm the same way. And what really angers me is injustice. And, I created a whole nonprofit foundation around the injustice from the rich and the poor when it comes to medical care in America. And that, because it angered me. But here's my, want to add to that. St. Paul in the Bible says, be angry, but sin not. It's good to feel that anger of injustice because that forces you to take action, see a need, and fill it. So anger is okay. But my problem, being Irish Catholic originally, was if you trigger me enough, I'll take a lot too. I'll take a lot in, okay? But then when you hit that trigger, look out. Just look out. I see you girls can relate to this. So I think I have a little Latin blood in me too.
Good. That's because of the marriages.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm out there watching you guys. I say, man, I really want to work with these girls. I got anger issues. I want to move from my head to my heart. I want to open my heart. I want to have their peacefulness, calmness. I know I'll never be perfect, but I want to get on the path going forward. Well, how do they get a hold of you? What would the experience be like? And you can take some time here and go deep and really walk them through what it would be like. Either one of you can go.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so what we do is we help leaders. We help executives who are frustrated, tired, and who just make so many efforts the whole time just to see that sometimes they feel like they're not enough, those efforts. And so what we want is people who are productive but who are happy,
Yeah.
People who say, yeah, I have money and I have a status and I have a good position and I'm also happy about it. I have time for myself. I enjoy my family. I make time for what's important for me. I know what happiness looks like and I nurture it. I do things consciously and intentionally that make me happy because money and work is just a part of my life, but it's not my life anymore. So I'm making money and oh, thank you, God, I am enjoying it as well. I'm not just making money to have it in the bank and then just work myself out, right? So that's where we help. That's our niche.
Is that like an hourly session, or how would it work? Is it Zoom or so in Spanish and English? And so it just is coaching. Is that correct?
We follow, yes, but it's not just coaching, because we follow a methodology. And our program is called Fuertemente, which in English would be like a strong mind or strongly, because that's the way that the words play together. And the idea is to strengthen your mind. That's what we do. We strengthen your mind. How? We focus with attention and with practice. That's it. So we give you the methodology where you are going to be able to work on so many things like resilience, serenity, forgiveness. And the great thing is that we would, of course, enroute the training towards what you really need in that moment, the abilities that you need to grow. So we follow the methodology, and then we have some M&Ms. The M&Ms are mentorship and monitoring sessions. Why? Because you need to do things. You need to change some patterns. And that's difficult. So that's where we come in and we say, you know what? We know, we've been there. And this is what you can do for you to, make it easier. Because we don't want to add stuff. So now you have to be mindful. So now you have to meditate 5 minutes a day. So now you have to eat healthier. Hold on. It's okay. Don't worry. Let's do this in an organic way. And that's the plus that we get.
Let me ask you this, because I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm building a 2-week healing retreat center right here in Medellin. Are you familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the reason I want to ask you this, because right now I'm currently planning on buying some brain mapping technology and some neurofeedback technology. Do you endorse that idea?
Oh, I would love that. I mean, that's so great, because you're going to have proof of how all the things that you're doing in your retreat is really helping people. Now, something that I would like, I don't know, it's just an idea. I would like you to just think about is, okay, so now you came to a retreat this way because I am measuring you, and this is how you're living. That's great. And what would happen 4 months after, after they leave? So it would be like sort of a plan so that you can just go with them towards continuing whatever they learn.
Exactly. And part of our retreat, part of tuition, we have an hour call every month for 12 months, accountability call to keep, because it's a waste of time and money if there's no lasting transformation. We all go a date with destiny. We go here and we have 2 months of a high, and then we're right back to where we started. Not everybody, but a lot of us have to go a lot of times. So we want to keep them on this path, and we're going to give them a morning routine and certain things that they're going to commit to do while they go. The first week is a solid food vacation, all juicing. And then we grow our own vegetables. You know how rich the soil here in Colombia is. But second week we get into consciousness. So maybe we can talk about how you guys can zoom in once in a while and share your expertise on consciousness.
Oh, would love that. And we do that as well. The M&Ms I told you about are 20 minutes personally, one-on-one, with you, with the executives for 1 week. So every week we're going to meet online for 20 minutes and just, follow through.
Yeah. How many people have you worked with so far?
Well,
is it mostly women?
No.
Oh, men and women. Okay.
Yeah. I think that, men are taking this very seriously as well. So we work with more than 100 people. We've worked with more than 10 companies, great sizes. We've had the honor of working with Allianz and Grupo Nutresa, which is in Medellin. We've worked with Uniandinos, with BMS, Tata Consulting Services. I mean,
any American companies? How many American clients do you have?
Oh, none. Now that you mention it.
Oh.
Yeah.
And how about individuals, American individuals?
We haven't really worked in English just yet. We have done some seminars, but for these companies who have their employees all over the world. So that's why we've done some works for companies in English, but not for people in English speaking. No.
Okay, I'm curious for both of you. What kind of spiritual mentors or brain mentors, or what kind of mentors did you read their books, take their workshops? Who influenced you the most in this world?
For me, one of the people that I really follow and read is Deepak Chopra.
Yeah. And he used to do a lot of work with Wayne Dyer, and that's when they first started the word "the field," right? It took me a long time. Took a long time to understand what they're talking about, but it's right here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Yes. And I am a health coach, and he has some training within the studies, and I just went crazy when he started talking about self and consciousness and how it belongs and how it alternates with well-being. So for me, it was mind-blowing, and since then, I'm a Deepak Chopra fan.
And the diet's mostly Ayurveda, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. How about you? So that was your main guy. I've actually been to a center in California, stayed there a couple times. Okay. How about you, Adriana? Who was your mentor? Who really impacted you in this work?
You mentioned him. It was Eckhart Tolle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And nowadays, I also read a lot about Robert Adams.
Okay.
He's
Who is he?
Yeah, so Robert Adams is more in the current of Sangha.
Okay.
So it's more like, not Sangha, I'm sorry, Satsang. It's more you live in an illusion, you are not the doer. So he's very sort of crazy.
Right.
You are so for example, something that he says that for me is amazing and it gives me lots of clarity is, okay, so this is a finger, right?
Yes.
The finger doesn't know he's a finger because he just is a finger.
Right.
He doesn't mind if he's a finger or not.
Right.
He's just a finger. So the finger does not look at himself, or he just is. So that's sort of the teaching. It does. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to become anything.
Right.
You don't need to work on anything. You just need to be. That's it.
Yes.
So it's really amazing. I recommend Robert Adams for you guys.
What you're saying is we're a human being, not a human doing. In other words.
Exactly.
Okay. I didn't mean to,
Exactly.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead with that thought.
Yeah, thank you. And some meditators that are really famous, to say, just Tara Brach and Jack Kornfield. I really love them. They're so full of love. Yeah. And in compassion, I would follow Kirsten Neff so much. I mean, she's amazing. I love her. So yeah. So I guess lots of people depending on.
So I'm picking up from you that you're very, very smart, and more used to be in your head a lot, and then you made this move to your heart and you became whole. Is that kind of what happened? Because I can see your intelligence, but I see this big, wide open heart now.
Thank you so much. I guess I live lighter because of the heart. Yeah. Because of moving from the heart. Yeah. It's just lighter. It's easier. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's real. This thing can trick you, or this thing can't. The feeling is pretty, going to keep you on the right path if you're sincere and clean. But this can mess you up.
Absolutely. That's why we just observe. We just stand and observe. That's it. Let it be. Let it happen.
So since you brought up crazy, I have to tell you my crazy download last night and my 3 hours of sleep and 6 hours of meditation, that I really, really feel not everybody's, a lot of people are asleep, but I also feel this consciousness raising, this energy, this vibrational frequency. You know, Tesla said it's all energy, vibration, frequency. So I feel it really raising. And I also believe that we have a light body outside of us, our aura, like our heart broadcasts, you know, up to 5 or 10 feet. Our thoughts go into the field. So we have this. And I feel that the cleaner we can get physically, mentally, emotionally, and clean everything up, with this light body around us, the frequency is going to rise. And here's the weird part. We're going to become like caterpillar turning into a butterfly. And we'll go from an animal body where we urinate, fornicate, defecate, into a spiritual light body where we're just pure energy of love, and we communicate telepathically. And so if we do that, you can read my mind, I can read your mind. There's just love. You know, there's no manipulation. There's no game plan. That was my download last night.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, well, you mentioned weird. I had to bring it up. Okay. So anyways, I would love to explore Mountains of Hope with you and see what kind of role you can play there. We would love to have you be a part of it. It's a beautiful place, and we also rent it out to other people's if you ever want to do your own retreat. So in closing right now, how can people get a hold of you? How do they contact you if they want to work with you?
Yeah, they can contact us through Instagram, or I don't know if we can tell you our webpage, and they can.
Yes, please. Or we'll put it on the screen if you. But go ahead and mention it too.
Put it on the screen.
Yeah, but mention it too.
And also in LinkedIn, you can find us. Like Con-Ciencia is there, and of course our profiles, Adriana Quiroz and Karen Bermudez in LinkedIn. We're there also.
And just because this is mostly Americans listening to this, how do you spell the name of your country? C-O-N and space, and you can spell the rest.
The name of the company?
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you spell it? Just for the Americans.
Yeah, it's Con-Ciencia. That's C-O-N score C-I-E-N-C-I-A.
Very good. Very good. And for everybody's benefit, that translates to consciousness, everybody. And these two girls, besides being amazingly beautiful, their soul, their energy, and their consciousness is a blessing to be around. So I thank both of you for being with us today.
Thank you. It was great. Thank you so much. And the information that you're going to find is going to be in Spanish.
Okay.
But if there's any doubt or you would like to talk to us, we're more than welcome. So thank you so much.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back in just 1 minute.
Thank you for listening to The Power of Your Voice with Mike Murphy. This podcast is brought to you by Mike Murphy Unfiltered, the Creation Frequency, Mountains of Hope, and the Love from Margot Foundation. These sponsors are dedicated to helping you use your full potential and live a life of joy and abundance. If you enjoyed this episode, please visit our website at mountainsofhope.com and subscribe to our podcast.